We may have had a path to the bottom of Lint's Tor, but once you're trying to get up Lint's Tor, unless there's a path that goes, you know, around the back and up, I don't know, but it's just knee-high grass, and you can see my legs are, you know, saturated from the grass here, but we're nearly there. And I do vaguely hope and think and remember that it is easier going once we're out of this stuff. So, but this is another reason why, you know, clearly a dog like Lassie is fine, but I wouldn't want to be walking Lizzie through this. I think she'd get through it, and I doubt there are many, if any, holes up here, you know, but if she dropped into a hole, I wouldn't know where she was. Or, well, she's probably Yap, I'm sure, and I don't think there are any little rivulets that we'd lose her in. But this type of terrain, you know, where you're, you know, trying to get through, you know, some of it now I think is starting to get a little bit easier. So I think she'd get through this stuff up here probably okay, because this stuff looks more ankle deep. So this I think should be okay on. But trying to get her through all of that, it's just a little bit of, you know, it's one worry that you can kind of do without. I think the only way around that one, you know, obviously at the moment my parents can look after her and the cats and Lassie, and we'll kind of see when I get back as to how they got on this time, because like I said, they are getting, they're not getting any younger. This is the problem. This is like the responsibility of pets, and you know, when you have parents or someone that can look after them, you know, 5 years ago, you know, okay, my mum was constantly complaining that I was taking the pets over, but it really wasn't, apart from her having a usual mother, you know, grumbles about having the pets dropped on her, you know, it really wasn't a problem. But it's, I think we're approaching the time where it is going to start becoming more of a problem. I have spoken to my neighbour, and they've been there quite a while, and I have not heard the police at the door or anything, so I think they're trustworthy, and that they have said that they would be able to keep an eye on things and pop in and out, you know, fairly regularly during the day if necessary. So hopefully I've got someone, you know, who's close, who can pop in, you know. We'll kind of see how it goes. But if I had to bring Lizzie, I'd have to carry her through that in some sort of sling or something. It wouldn't be very much. I mean, once you're, like I said, now you're on this, she'd be fine. But the other problem with Lizzie is she's so small. It's just, if it's like this, she'd be fine weather-wise. But as soon as it starts to cool off a little bit, and then she's wet, then she does feel the cold, you know, obviously more than Lassie. So I'll probably do something else myself in later August. Probably just do a simple something and probably take Lizzie on that. When I parked the car yesterday, I'm going to get one of those dog prams. I've ordered a big chunky one from America. Not the cheap tack on Amazon. Although, to be fair, I'm getting it from Amazon, but it's USA Amazon shipped over. I don't know where I could push it on Dartmoor, because once you cross those stepping stones, it's quite narrow quite quickly. If I could go to the right, maybe I'd be able to get her to the west side of, well, okay, to the right hand side, which is probably south, but I don't know offhand, but to the right of Dartmoor Tor, where I've camped there a few times, because she'd probably be able to walk a bit, but I really wouldn't want it more than, you know, 100 meters here or there. Anyway, this is the top of Lint's Tor. Oh, Jesus, that's a bit of a pull up there. Anyway, and I've camped in there. I would have liked to have camped up here last night. There's someone's water bottle down there. I would have camped up here last night, but the forecast was gusting into the low 30s. And I was kind of thinking, well, I'm sure we'd be fine, but I was more concerned about getting some decent sleep, so that's why I camped down in the valley. It's all very well being big and brave up the tops, and that's obviously fine if you have to, but if you're out for several days, and you really want to get some sleep, you're not in the position realistically of, you know, putting yourself in the position of deliberately potentially having a bad night's sleep. So it's taken half an hour just to get up here. So obviously, like I said, we could have come up here last night, but so we've got now, so that's Dartmoor Tor over there. But we don't really want to go down and up if we can avoid it. So I think, well, it looks like there's a path that kind of goes around, contours round, so whether we can find that path or not, I don't know. But I think contouring around is still better than straight down, and it's very steep down there as well. Oh, I've done it, but it is steep. And I have camped down over there. There's some videos, that's going back a bit. I haven't camped down there for a while, but at the end of the nose, I wouldn't normally sort of highlight places, but I think all these places around here are quite well known anyway. And if someone new is coming along and they just want, you know, a basic, easy to get to, you know, where someone like us is probably going to go a little bit potentially further, although they're pretty decent places and they're far enough and I'd still use them myself. I think and you still kind of got to find it, even if you kind of give a general idea, you still got to get down there and look for it. It's not as if I'm giving coordinates or anything exactly. I'm just, you know, saying that that is a potential spot. Anyway, it looks like we've got a path of sorts, so we'll follow this. Hopefully we can make up a little bit of time to Dartmoor Tor, and really most of the way should be on paths, which is kind of why I stopped early yesterday, because so much of this next section is pathed, tracked, trailed, will eventually be back up, you know, not a million miles from civilization, even though we're on the moors. As I mentioned, the problem with trying to do mileage around the outside is, you know, you're closer to where other people can get. So I really didn't want to be camping, you know, around Yes Tor or West Mill Tor or Row Tor or Scary Tor, which is where I was originally heading for. So we need to get past all those places today and try and knock off a few miles, kilometers, so that we kind of catch up a little bit. And then we've still got 3 days, so today's Tuesday, you know, to make our way back. It's kind of, by doing a big circle like this, it's kind of forcing myself to, you know, to actually walk, whereas quite often I'll head out without a real plan, which, to be fair, again, I'm more than happy to do, and to be honest, it's probably a very nice thing to do, and just be really relaxed and think, okay, I'm going to walk this bit this day, that bit next day. Okay, then I got to be heading to the car, so the next day we need to, you know, rather than doing a long bit, we need to be doing a short bit, which is kind of what happened when I did the Peak District last year. No, sorry, not the Peak, in Wales. Because when I did that walk, my original plan was to kind of go all the way around the back. Pardon the expression. And in the end, we just did quite a small bit. But time, I was a bit slow and time was ticking, and like I said, you know, sometimes it's not a race or a marathon out here, so I'm more than happy doing that. But this time I thought I'd just set a little bit of a challenge, something a bit different. There's a whole load of funny inquisitive cows. I think these are the ones that might have been down by the water yesterday. So we've got Dartmoor Tor up there, so the usual obvious thing, just don't get between the cows and their young. Personally, I've got nothing against walking through them, just make sure that the young are with their are with the mummy. Yeah. It didn't even move. Alright, you carry on eating your munches. So this is Dartmoor Tor. So I think I'm just going to stop here just for a minute, and I think I'm going to have a snack bar, and then we're really then on the more thoroughfare, as it were, of getting up to Yes Tor. Currently this is Dinger Tor, and Yes Tor is over there, and we're going to walk all the way around the outside of the moor over the next few days. That's Fair Tor, so we won't go near that because we're going round the moors, hopefully. If we have to cut it short or something happens, then we can just cut straight across back to the car, but the plan is to go around the outside. So that one on the horizon over there, that might be, I've forgotten what it is now, but anyway, I think we're going to be eventually going around near that one over there. It's not Hare Tor, because Hare Tor's over there somewhere. I had it in my mind as to what it was, and it's gone now, but we will see that. I don't think it'll be tomorrow. It definitely won't be tomorrow. Maybe Thursday we'll be near that one. Maybe Thursday we will be near it. Like I said, it's not a sprint. We're not I'm not planning, you know, I'm not super fit like the like the young Duke of Edinburghs that do 50 miles in a weekend. You know, I'm doing it in 5 days. All right, so the next port of call will be the tourist section, Yes Tor, which is the highest point on Dartmoor. We don't go there very often because it's the tourist department, so we avoid that, but we kind of need it this time to get back to walking around. We kind of came out this way, you know, to add a few miles on to try and get us as close to 80 kilometers as possible for the entire trip. Yes Tor's over there, and we're going to go over Eastmill, Row Tor, which is down there, which we probably can't see. Scary Tor's over there somewhere. That one there, this one here, that might be Westmill Tor or Eastmill Tor. I have camped on that once. It's okay. That's Steeperton Tor, or is it Oakley Tor? And then behind that is Oakley Tor or Steeperton Tor. And then Hound Tor, which is where we'll head for next, is over there. You've got Wild Tor and Wharton Tor, and you could kind of get to where we want to go from there, but I just want to try and get the miles in. Let's get over there and then we'll decide. But I'm going to try and go to Hound Tor and then over to Button Hill, which is the other side of those hills over there once we've gone down there. So I don't think it's not a million miles. So that's about 20 kilometers from where we started to Button Hill. Ideally I'd like to press on from there and try and get to that area where I pitched with the X-Mid down the other side of Fenworthy Forest, because again there's not really anything anywhere over there to pitch so easily. Well, not that I know of anyway, so I must admit I am cheating a little bit and at the moment heading for places that I No, so last night I knew. Tonight I've got 2 spots in mind, hopefully the second. The other one's at the, like near Button Hill, but I really don't want to use that. I don't mind using that in the winter, you know. I used to use that a lot in the winter, and that's fine. It's dark at 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and you know, you're not really going to get people wandering around, but it's not dark until nearly 9 o'clock here at the moment, and I just think you're going to get people quite likely wandering around there, because again it's quite close to a road. So really I'd like to try and press on from there if the legs are up for it. I used to be able to do 20-mile days a long time ago. I have done, I mean, I've definitely done 25-kilometer days recently, but they are pretty exhausting. But that's likely what we're looking at today. Alright, well, this is the top of Yes Tor. So this is Yes Tor, and we can't even see where we were. This is down behind that hill there, but that's Sowerton Tor over there. So yesterday we were there, and that one I think is Great Links Tor. That one over there, that's Westmill Tor. So that's where we're going to head for next. And as you can see, there's a road. It's not really a road as such, it's more of a you know, a public access, you know, as far as you can get into the moor, and that's got cars down there. And this is why I didn't want to come on yesterday, because I'd have ended up having to camp somewhere over there, and I really didn't fancy fumbling and bumbling around in mist and everything in areas so close to public areas. It's been quite a while. It's been quite a long time since I've been up here. Like I said, it's so close to civilization that I really avoid it like the plague, really. You know, you just get people up here, you know, your day walkers and things like that. But we're exercising the old peg legs, so let's head down here over to Westmill Tor and then Row Tor. So I don't know how many tours this is now. Is this the 5th? I told you I'd lose count after about 3, but that's about 5 now, I think. So we're going to do, so that's 5, so we're going to do 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10 really in the next couple of hours, because we're just going to do a whole load of tours soon. We might be able to grab some, I could do with some water as well actually, so if there is water flowing down there then I will grab some. You've got walkable tracks, I think the army tracks and everything, they're just all this area. A lot of walking here you can do on not roads, but you know, gravel trails, and we will be doing some of that soon. You see the army come up here a lot as well. You've got one of their boxes there, another box tucked up over there. You can see the flag poles. Obviously it's not trying to find the best way down. I think think if we just get through here, then there's a path right up the other side, and it really doesn't look difficult. But you still got to be careful when you're coming through these stony bits and everything, you know, especially as well. I'm always careful on stones because this is my one of my paranoias out here, is I just do not want to slip or crack a leg or a knee or a head on these stones. So I always tend to walk quite gingerly when I'm on stones and things. Cheers. Ooh. Cute little stream. Water just coming from up there, down there. Obviously, because we live in a world of namby-pamby babies these days, don't forget to filter your water. But as you can see, it's not needed. Oh. I might just tank up here just a little bit and then top up a bit more and have a bit more of that snack bar. And then we've got West Mill Tor, Row Tor, Scary Tor, and then up to the others. We'll probably get some water a bit further on as well. Well, here we are at West Mill Tor. Yes, Tor over there. Even got the little kiddies out. Kiddies. Get the little kiddies out to these Tors. They're all easily accessible. Obviously, common sense. Still be careful. You know, the mist could suddenly come in, so. You know, unlikely on a day like today, but just exercise caution up here. You know, just make sure you've got, you know, I don't know why you really, to be fair, I really think you should still have a map and compass. I wouldn't personally, even on a day walk, I wouldn't want to come up here without a map and a compass at the very least, just as a reserve, really. So at the very least, you know, if you get disorientated, you know which way you came in, and you'd be able to, you know, even if you can't do a bearing or take a bearing off a map, you know, you'd be able to figure out, you know, which way was north, east, south, west, just by simply looking at the map and then looking at your compass, which is north, east, south, west, and just head in whichever direction is applicable to just getting off the hill in the correct direction, you know, rather than heading inland, as it were. Yeah, so that's, I've parked down there a couple of times. That's as far as you can go in the car. It's really the military trail, but you can, it is accessible to the public. Let's get over there and then we'll have a look, because like I said, it's not, I'm trying to get miles in, yes, and we want to get all the way around, yes. And I'd like to try and make it close to 80 kilometers around, but to be fair, I think it's going to be a bit closer to 75 in the end, but that's kind of straight lines. And so I'll make a note or try to remember, you know, each day. I'm logging it on the watch, so we'll see what the mileage adds up to, or the kilometerage. Yeah, this is quite a nice trail down here. I think when I went up it, I went kind of straight up, which wasn't very easy nor fun some time ago, whenever that was. But like I said, sometimes we get lucky and we find paths and trails a bit like this one that's going to easily get us down. Like I said, really, apart from maybe around Fenworthy forest area when we come out the other side, most of what we do today should in theory be fairly pathy, traily, really. Oh, I had that turkey meal. I didn't really say any more about that. It didn't really hydrate. The potato hydrated fine, but the turkey didn't hydrate very well. I must admit that one last night was probably one of my worst ones, and I've had the turkey before and it's kind of been okay, but I'm kind of thinking that that bowl is too small. You know, I can't get enough water in it, even though it's obviously 570 ml, and I'm probably putting in 450 at least. I know for a regular dehydrated bought meal, you probably only need, you know, on average 200-300 ml of water, but I think the ones that I do, especially that one, seem to need a lot of extra water. I mean, there was still water left in, it hadn't all been absorbed, but I think it probably needed sort of, you know, soaking and boiling more, which I did actually put it on a couple more times, and in the end I had to tip some out in the bushes. It's another there was another time when I was sort of thinking, damn, I haven't got Lassie to eat this. It wasn't very much, but yeah, the last bit I just couldn't really stomach the last bit, so that's quite rare. That's kind of how I feel with the fire pot meals, to be honest. I find when I start to get near the end of those, I kind of think, oh, I don't know if I can eat any more of this. And I think part of the problem with mine is it was just a bit bland. Normally I try to remember to put salt and pepper and such in, but I think if it had extra salt and pepper, it probably would have been okay. So if I do it again next year, I think I'll have to put something in. But if I've got one more with me as well, so I think what I'm going to have to do for the next one is mix it in, is do half, try to somehow divide it up. I don't quite know how, but somehow divide it up and put soup in, you know, make sure it's done, and then add soup. All right, so we're back on the, well, oh, we're not back on, we haven't been on it yet, but so this is like a track now. This is like an army vehicle track. So yeah, I've parked my car down here and thankfully not had a problem. I've left it overnight. I don't think I've ever left it more than one night here, but I probably wouldn't really recommend it though here, because if someone did come up here, you are in the middle of, you know, nowhere. parked there once with a mum. Oh, I don't know when that was. 6-7 years ago. She's still around, but I don't know. Sometimes you see places that you know that you remember, and you kind of get all emotional. Let's get the emotions and the violins out. Anyway, let's keep. The knees are a bit achy already. Ow. I can't remember if I can't remember. Here's some more water here coming down from up there. I can't remember if I said, but I went to the doctor about my knees. I probably did say. And it's arthritis in both knees, which I must admit I kind of could have done without arthriticals. I think what I'm probably going to do, there's several people up on Laurel Tor, and we're going to be within 100 meters of it, so I'm going to walk past and just keep going. Like I said, it's as much being very, very close to tours, showing tours and distance walking, kind of, as, you know, we have to touch the tor that we're walking near. I think this one is close enough to the path that it's going to, I mean, I wouldn't say, oh, we've been to that tor from this distance, because I think that's probably a little bit too far, but I mean, we're going to be within 100 meters of that one, so I reckon you can say that we've been to Laurel Tor down well close enough. Let's keep going. So we're going to head down, and then I think the next one is to see how close we are to Scary Tor. Yeah, so we'll go to Scary Tor. Like as I was saying, part of me was kind of sort of thinking, well, we don't need to go over there and then back on ourselves, but we will do Scary Tor. I don't think I've ever been to Scary Tor. To be fair, I don't think I've ever been to Bellstone Tors either, but I don't mind adding a bit onto the journey, but I'm not that bothered about having to go all the way up there when we've got to indirectly be going that way. Oh, Dartmoor ponies and the farmers' cows. There's a huge thingamybobs here, but it's a bit narrower over here, so let's see whether we can find a narrow bit to step across, so we're not having to wade. Ooh, there's some maybe some stepping stones down here. There's certainly a path, or, well, you know, a little traily thing. Yeah, we should better step across there. Yeah, that looks, well, there's a bigger step to that far one, but that should be doable. Well, we were just walking up here trying to find Scary Tor, and there was an adder just there, but he scarpered into this undergrowth before I could do anything. But he has been out. That is adder skin there, so they're obviously out shedding. So you do see them, just not very often. So you know, be careful when you're bumbling through the undergrowth. But they're more likely, as I say, as soon as I approached, he scarpered. Okay, well, we probably didn't come the best way up, but you know, we could have gone down that way, and there might be a path up the other side, you know, quite likely. But it's not really, you know, we kind of just need to get up there, and we don't know what is down there, so I'm gonna try and bumble my way. There's quite a few stones here, so I think once we get up there then it'll be fine, and there's probably a path up there, so I'm gonna concentrate on trying to work through this. We've kind of got ourselves a bit stuck again. Well, it's living up to its name, Scary Tor. I've probably picked the scariest way up through that lot, and we still haven't quite got there yet, but I'm hoping it'll be a bit easier up through there. So we'll get up there, and hopefully maybe around the other side it'll be easier going and out of this breeze. But I'm definitely glad I'm doing this now and not tomorrow and not last night, which was my original plan. I knew it. Look at that path there. All those people up there. What an easy path. But it probably would have meant carried on walking all the way down there and then up. So probably would have taken a similar length of time, and not as fun as enjoyable, to be fair. Alright, there's someone sitting there, there's people up there. We'll head out, I think. I want to get away from these people. Well, we're just coming up to Oakley Tor here, so I'm basically just going to keep walking. This is, I think, the 10th tour, this one, and then we're just going to keep going and get up to Steeperton Tor on the horizon. So I'm really not going to waste time here. I had a little bit of a longer sit down back there. I had some water, I had changed the battery in the GoPro, rubbed some friction stuff on the toes, took my shoes off obviously for a minute to do that, and had another energy bar. So while the going is good here, like I say, this is Oakley Tor here, but we're gonna head on to Steeperton Tor dead ahead. Pretty sure there, I can't see, oh yes, I can see a path up, right up there, right up the middle. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, there's a path going up to it. There had to be, or a little trail of some sort. So yeah, so we'll just stay on this, get up there, over to Hound Tor over there, and then most likely go to the left, go to that stone circle where once again Lassie bless her found a small puddle, and then past Button Hill down to Score Hill, and then from there we'll try and get down to where we camped in the Durston a bit further south. So it's from there, it's still about 7 kilometres, and it's probably about 7 from here to Score Hill, maybe a bit more. I think we've probably got about 16 to do in total today. So obviously 7 to 7 is 14, so but it's about 7 or 8 and 7 or 8, and hopefully we get down and there's no one camping there, hopefully. Probably about 7. I don't think we'll get there before 7. I hope not later than 7. So we'll just keep really pushing on a bit now.